Hi. So this is the fourth vlog post that I will be doing. Today I'm supposed to talk about the digital footprints that we talked about in the lecture on Tuesday. What I learned about what I learned in Tuesday's lecture, the main thing that I learned was exactly how data mining works. I knew that it existed. I just kind of couldn't decipher exactly how they do it, the credit card information and all that, depending on what you buy, the next thing. I know that for some reason, whenever I stream online, I get these ads for, are you looking for Russian women and stuff like that, which is weird because I'm not. Maybe because my name is Anton Senderak, they associate that, but I just know that that's always been a thing for me, is the pop-ups for Russian women when streaming, regular movies online and all that. What my digital footprint is like, I think I have a pretty good digital footprint. I do use the internet a lot, like everyone else. One thing that I do take very, very close consideration is one thing that I do am meticulous about is how my Facebook page looks. And so on Facebook and on Instagram, I have no photos of myself in any compromising positions whatsoever. I make sure that that doesn't happen to me, or that people don't take photos of me if ever that does come up, and especially that they don't post it. And I never post that kind of stuff about myself. And the other thing is I organize my photos in a way that I look really good. So for instance, if you go through, I keep my Facebook and my Instagram open, because if people do go through my photos, they always see that it's, for instance, I'll have a photo of me playing hockey, and then the next photo will be me doing humanitarian work. I'm with a bunch of children, and the next one I'll be in a mascot costume. So you go through my photos and doing all kinds of one where I'm on stage doing theater, doing all kinds of different things, and so you kind of go through the photos. You're like, oh, interesting. This guy does a bunch of different things, and that's the impression you get of me. If you're going to go online and Google me or stalk my Facebook profile, if I don't know if I'm going in for a job interview. So I use that to my advantage, and I think that I've done a pretty good job of it thus far. Will you change? I wouldn't necessarily change. Although I do find the whole social media, the digital media, it's a little scary sometimes. Just write this vlog thing for me. Anybody could go on it and watch it and see it at first. Even that was a little bit scary for me, broadcasting my personal, my personal life and everything. That's quite scary, if you will. I have a very strong opinion on today's, digital identity and all that, because I find more and more that everybody has access to these phones, and people are posting. We have Snapchat, Instagram. Everybody's posting and sharing, and I think it's an amazing tool that we have at our disposal. But I think that sometimes it's used in the wrong way. I think that there's a fine line between sharing or capturing memories and sharing them with your friends, and broadcasting one's personal life. If I'm going through my my Snapchat feed, and somebody has a 100-second story, I'm not going to sit and watch it for 100 seconds. And frankly, I think that you lying around is quite irrelevant. And it's weird because it almost sounds like I'm against social media and all that, but I'm not. I'm studying sport media, and I firmly believe in using these forms of media to share information, to share knowledge, to share events, sports news, and to stay in touch with people that you have once met, or your friends, and know what they're up to. I just think that it's getting to a point where it's excessive. And I think personally, when I hang out with my friends, that the best memories are made when we are fully engaged with one another. And if everybody's distracted or has something else going on all the time, I think that can take away from us experiencing life together. If I go out out and about on the streets and I walk around everybody has their head down. I love looking at everything around me and noticing people and different, like things. There's so much around us that we can see and observe. But I think that maybe sometimes people are distracted, a little too distracted with their different devices and their social medias, and there's kind of a social pressure as well of taking selfies and I got to show people what I'm up to. Look what I'm doing. I'm being productive, when really you just want to live, I think. Should we open up or keep our cards close to our chest? I think I touched a little bit on that because essentially what that means is, should we continue sharing like we do and going online and having all our profiles, or should we not be reserved? I mean, on my Twitter page and on my Facebook, I mainly share sports events and sports results and everything. So I think that if you're continuing to use it in a positive way, I think it could be a little dangerous if you broadcast your personal life a little too much. That's my opinion. I think if you use it reasonably, it's a very powerful tool that you have at your disposal. The other thing I'm going to talk about is the poster project. Now, for my poster project, this is something that isn't really in my area of expertise. I'm not necessarily the most artistic person when it comes to combining and Photoshop and graphic arts, I should say. But I do have an idea that I think could be interesting, that I may or may not. Well, I will definitely work on and see where it goes. But I've always had this pathological need to draw cubes all over my notes and scribble like everyone else. And I know that other people do draw cubes. I think that's a thing because when we're kids, the first shape that you are taught to draw that isn't, a flat shape, the first kind of, what do you call those? 3D things that you learn to draw are cubes. And so I kind of just stuck with me. I've always known how to draw cubes, and I scribble all over the place. So my idea would be to have a poster. It could be perhaps on a loose leaf sheet. I have to design it myself and everything, and like by hand is what I mean. And I'd like to have like note scribbles or cubes everywhere drawn. And, and I'll have to try and organize it so that it looks nice or, artistic, if you will, and have in handwriting, have the quote, think outside the box. I think that's super relevant because you're in class all the time, whether you're in, high school, university, post-grad, or you're always learning. You're always taking notes of your job. And I think that as you're writing down whatever is being said, and you're also drawing cubes, I think that's your imagination is being stimulated. And so they say, think outside the box. That's how great ideas are made and created. I think that could be an interesting poster of just, starting from scraps and all of that. Because a lot of, comedians, writers, they'll write jokes, different ideas that come to their heads on napkins, on stuff like that. So I think that definitely that can be an interesting idea for a poster. But I don't have any concrete results of that yet, but I'm definitely going to explore that imminently. So thank you. I hope you enjoyed once again.